everybody. We are live today. It's FashionIndex. I am live with Tirsa and Jessica from Sweet Creative Studio. So I hope come on in and listen. Ask questions if you have questions. Jessica is great and has so much information. She has an amazing experience with different intimate apparel, having worked for different intimate apparel companies, and now actually creating them for other people now, which is fantastic. So I'm going to bring in Jessica. Hold on one second.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tirsa. I am the co-founder of FashionIndex.com. As Marge is getting Jessica to join, just a little bit about FashionIndex.
Okay, I might have lost her.
Made to help you find your resources, either people or companies. So whatever you need to help you get everything that you need to get your brand off the ground.
Morning, ladies. You can hear me?
Hi, Jessica.
Jessica.
Yes, good morning. How are you? So nice to see you.
Oh,
good.
So
really?
I just want to introduce Jessica. This is Jessica from Sweet Creative Studios. She is a wealth of information. She has her own business. She started in New York as a designer and made her way from Chicago to now LA. And we're really happy to be talking to her today. So Jessica, maybe you can tell a little bit more about you and kind of your journey.
Sure. Firstly, can you guys hear me okay? And is the connection okay?
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Good. Great. So I started my career in New York in 2006. I did go to school for fashion design and business. And, after graduating, I started working for intimate apparel company in private label space, and then eventually also branded licenses. So I designed for, national as well as worldwide brands. And products sold everywhere from better department stores like Lord and Taylor, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, through to like mass market level chain stores. Many of the retailers that you see at the mall. All throughout the category, multiple categories between Missy, junior, plus size. We did men's a little bit in that part of career, and we also did girls underwear as well. And then So I worked in private label and branded licensing for about 10, 11 years or so. And then I started Sweet Creative Studio just about 5 years now ago. And we focus on intimate apparel still. That my background is very heavy in intimate apparel. It's a niche category, and you really need the expertise, especially when you're looking at structured bras, things with underwire padding,
right?
Things built to be functional, as well as really there's materials and trims that go into apparel are a little bit more specialized as well. So we work with manufacturers and suppliers from all around the world that specialize in these products as well. As a studio, we also work heavily in swim and active. Intimate, swim, and active are our top 3 categories. We also do hosiery. We do shapewear. We work with some ready-to-wear clients, some wear, soft good accessories. So we take on more than just intimate, but where our core focus.
Cool, that's amazing.
Got it.
Well,
great. Yeah.
It's also such a niche market, because I don't know that everyone realizes the the definite like hand that's required when you're actually, you know, constructing these types of garments. So I think that that's like really important for people to know. You know, I feel like, I think it would be great if you can explain like literally how many processes you have to prepare in order to have a product ready to bring it to the market. You know,
There
you know.
are so many steps. Of course, I think with like most things, when you see a finished product, you're like, oh wow, that right, and like it's so straightforward.
Yeah.
I know exactly how it's done. But when you really break it down, there are so many steps. You know, first really concept. What is the concept for your what is the functionality of it? What does it do? And what is the point of difference, right, for the market? So, you know, some difference may just be maybe more of like a style thing. So maybe it's a wet, maybe it's a new color, maybe it's a new type of print, maybe it's a new type of fabric or a different, you know, a totally different like style of lace. Sometimes it may be something that's like really upending the functionality of things, like how things typically work, and then how you're putting your spin on it to either improve something that's just, you know, not serving you as the consumer, you know, a broader market. So there's that kind of stage, just kind of working design development, what to look like and function as. That in itself is a beginning off of the process. Then, you know, you're pulling fabrics and trims, or when you're working with something like a technical garment, you know, or on the opposite end, like footwear, you know, there's a ton of components to it. Some of them you don't see at all from the finished garment, right? They're like interior only. So you need to source every single piece of that, right? You have to pick your main fabrics; those are obvious. But you know, your elastic, your hook and eye, your underwire, your wire channeling. There are, you know, conventional kind of that you might find, but then there's like a little better quality ones that you might find that kind of, you know, amplify the value or perceive your. So just what those differences are, knowing, you know, which vendors can, you know, supply those is important. And then, you know, as you're sourcing, you're putting together your tech pack, which is, you know, your blueprints of how you're going to garment. That's going to include all of your sewing details, all of your products you will need for a garment, as well as your size specs, your, you know, rendered sketches. What colors are you doing it in? Where are your labels being placed? What hang tags are you even from the factory? You know, are you packaging it in a bag? Does it style sticker on it? Like, there's so many details to think about from beginning to end. It does, you know, there's not like magic kind of process gets you from like idea to final product. You really take each step. And then, you know, pattern making, of course. Garment fitting is a big chunk of the development. Typically, you know, for bras, we could fit 3 to 5 bras on average, depending on how technical it is, like what size range you're doing. You know, how different it is from the norm, right, of what's being done now. And so that you want to make sure that give plenty of time in your development process. A lot of times I do see, you know, people that are looking to enter into the market and try to start a brand. One of the biggest most common mistakes is not giving enough time.
Yeah.
Something to be done tomorrow, which we all want to know, but it does, you know, it takes kind of through the development and source all your materials and make sure you're getting a really good quality and great fitting garment. Because I think, you know, at the end of the day, that's what we strive for all the time, you know, just to get the quality and the best fit so that the consumer has a great experience. Product isn't everything. Marketing is huge, a big component of the success of a brand. But at the end, we want to all be proud of the product that we put out there, and want to be able to stand by it.
And you can go one season and put out, crappy product, but that will probably be your last season. So it's just not worth it.
Right. They can, and it kind of depends, right? It depends on your price point. If you're aiming to be bottom of the barrel and you're as far as price point goes, and you're just fast fashion and you're trying to be, something that's in and out, and it's not going to live in their, closet forever, then people will kind of turn a blind eye to quality. I think, the market, there's a space for everyone, honestly, but we are trying to go away from that, right? We are not, we're working, away from fast fashion. We're working towards more sustainable products and products that can have a longer life cycle. And that takes time, and really takes time to build that quality into the garment.
Yeah. I also think that that's part of like the reputation that you're building as well. You want to have people who want to talk about your product, and I feel like that's definitely where, you make a difference working with brands to teach them what they need to do right in order to bring that good brand to market.
Yeah, exactly. We're having a
go
problem.
ahead, Jessica. I lost Tirsa, so I'm trying to get her back.
I might be having a problem with the voice. Can everybody hear me? If someone can just say like a thumbs up or something emoji in the comments, that would be great. Okay. So it's development process. You don't call it a process for we call it a process for a reason. It does take time. We work with brands of all different sizes. We work with brands that are like pre-launch with to more established multi-million-dollar. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. So I think people can hear. So I mean, depending on what stage you are in the process, we can kind of jump in with the client. We work with our clients basically as an extension of their team. They hire us on to do their creative help with creative design, and also really manage the product development, sourcing kind of aspect of their brand, and to bring it. So we typically, we work with most of our clients as a long-term resource. They are hiring us on as their, instead of hiring on like an internal in-house, building out that team, so that they can kind of leverage our full team, which we have, decades of experience and varied experience throughout our team, from creative design, technical design, sourcing, production management, business development. So we can, really take a client from concept through to having a product in hand, in one place with one team.
Yeah. Jessica, it's interesting. One thing that I don't think people realize is so difficult is the sourcing part of everything. I think that people think they can just find a fabric supplier and boom, that will be it. Like they'll be done and have, like you were saying before, there are so many different components that have to be considered in the garment. And when they come to someone like you, like Sweet Creative Studio, you already have these resources. You share with them, these are the different multiple resources we can help you get your product produced with. You're just saving them so much time and work, that I want to emphasize to people how important it is to work with a partner like Sweet Creative Studio, because you will just save yourself so much time and energy and get it done right by people who know how to bring product to market, and have it be successful. I mean, if you have an idea and Jessica has been there, done it, and said, you know what, if you're going to bring that idea to market, you really should consider this. you're gonna get great, very
Mm-hmm.
important feedback that will help save you time and money in the long run. So it's really invaluable when you can use a resource, like Jessica's company, and partner with them. I mean, they are, like she said, they're a partner, and it's that much less overhead you have as far as a full-time team goes, and you're getting a broader amount of experience with all the people on her team. So we just want to, drive home that point, because I don't really know how many people understand how important it is to have a partner in this business, a partner who has the experience. So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter
Yeah.
anytime you start a business, right? And at the beginning, maybe you're bootstrapping something and it's one-man show, and you're really trying to do everything. That's, many businesses nothing, but I think knowing was really important. And if you don't have a background in the industry, you can waste so much money and so much time. Time is valuable too, right? So if it takes you 4 years to get your product to market and we can do it in one, then that means, yes, you've invested more upfront for a team
Right.
to help you, but you have 3 extra years
of selling.
If because there's a pretty strong, and people, even if you can get it done in a year, like what mistakes did you make that you avoid? The industry, like we work in a very interesting industry, and it is very, it's people making the product, right? And there's always changing, but we've been there before. We've seen it. We've worked through shipping issues. We've worked through production issues. We've worked through, fabric not being available, and we've worked through. I can't say all of it because there's always something new, but we've worked through a lot. So,
well, let me say this also. There's also the relationships we have already established in the business, where if we, need to call somebody,
but
you've got a slew of people that you've worked with before that you could call and say, how have you dealt with this before? What are you doing about it now?
As a company, we very much are, an advocate for our clients. We want, when our clients do well, we all do well. So we promote them as much as possible, but we also negotiate for them as much as possible. So, if there's a program that maybe they can't quite get into a factory because they're not meeting their minimum, if we have a relationship with that, we will work with them to get more reasonable entry, minimums in order for them to get to market and be able to that, scale. We've gotten pretty creative in the past to leverage relationships with fabric suppliers and manufacturers to kind of share fabrics maybe that are being done for another, brand. Maybe it's a brand in Europe somewhere. It's never even the fabric's never even gonna be here in that sense. Yeah. But we could get in that fabric if we love that fabric, like a lower, order quantity. It's a similar dead stock, but kind of negotiating that beginning, so we can kind of help reduce minimums and kind of the cost to buy in to certain fabrics for long-term growth.
Right. Jessica, another big thing that I definitely want to get across on this call is your experience with helping people understand how to finance their company, how to get that running start, because everybody needs it. How do you plan for the beginning? And then also, how then do you get to the next level? Because there's definitely, different ways of financing to get your business to the next level. So
yes.
Yeah.
So budget is really important. Obviously, building a business is not it's not a small investment.
Right. Where do you invest that money?
Because you have to buy product, right, in order to sell. One thing, one point I do try to make is you cannot do $1 million without $1 million worth of goods, and to sell dollars. But if you're buying,
right,
you're never going to, the math doesn't make sense. So you have to look at your budget realistically from the beginning.
That's
and
right.
you don't need to necessarily plan $1 million in sales from the gate if you can. But, you know, look at it from a point of view from the beginning. And I like to suggest having like 3 buckets of budget, right? So you need your R&D or your development budget, you need your inventory budget, and you need your marketing budget. The 3 of them should be in balance from the beginning. And you don't, a lot of times people, like, they know they need, they know they need product. Usually that one the most straightforward. Everyone knows they need inventory, so that budget is like first thought about. Secondly, comes development and the cost of what it's going to take to get that product developed. It is an investment. That's why, you know, when companies sell hundreds of thousands of one style, one color, you know, that's where they're getting their return on investment, because they're you know, getting back their so we can't forget about marketing, right? So marketing, you have to budget for marketing. It is just as important as your product. Honestly, if not more important than your product. Because if you have the best product, it will not matter if nobody knows about it. They have to know that you're there. They have to know you exist. And with this, you know, this environment, it is all about getting in front of your consumer and cutting through the noise of other brands, cutting through, you know, how do you make how do you go viral? How do you everybody to post about your product? It's something that landscape, and it does cost investment. If you're a marketer, great, you leverage your skills. But if you are not, then, you know, you have to place that value in marketing, because it is really important. You know, kind of a fourth bucket that you want to consider is like when you're going to have the funds to start developing for your next season. Because you know, you can get to launch, but once you get to launch, what happens if you sell out, right? Or what happens if the sales are slow, then, you know, you can kind of go slow, kind of grow organically. But what happens if you are successful? When do you come out with your next style, right? Knowing that product development takes a long time, you want to start thinking about, maybe at the very beginning, you might not have like a solid answer or solid budget for that. But as you're getting through the process, it's something to start thinking about before you go to market.
Right.
You know, because typically any brand that is working on, you know, a year from now, goods that are like a year out. So, and when they launch something they have something in production coming for the next month, next 2 months. So you're able to kind of finance some sort of life cycle where you're not like dead in the water, sells out.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah. It's all planning. It's all really from day one. It's just about creating a plan. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a business plan, but a timeline of when you want to get things done. And in that timeline, what will it cost at different points? You know, laying these things out, it's just very smart. It's a very smart way to, if you're planning to have a business, that's the only way you're going to have a business. Otherwise, it's going to be like a shot in the dark. You'll make one product, and if it sells or if it doesn't sell, you're not going to keep moving forward. So a plan is imperative. Starting at the beginning, like Jessica said, plan your buckets. I feel like, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Jessica, I feel like a marketing bucket almost has to be 3 times what the other 2 buckets are, because that's how you're going to sell the product.
You know, it totally depends on your financial situation and, you know, where you're getting your funding. You know, I would say they need to be looked at least almost equally, because what you're putting in product development, you know, depending on how many units you're purchasing, product development can as your inventory, you know, or has to be significant. So it kind of depends. There's all prices out the same. You know, if building a t-shirt and purchasing a t-shirt is going to come at a very different price than purchasing, you know, a robe. So it's exactly like a number or a percentage like that is going to work for everyone, but just making sure that you're giving significant to each is, and realistically, and you know, if you trapping it yourself, which many people are, you know, that may you know, tapping into, maybe you saved up to start a business, you know, it's you know, planning, okay, once at this point look at line of credit, or to, you know, bring in inventory that way, so that I'm basically, you know, fronting it before the revenue comes in. Grant thing that I recommend people look into and apply to them as often as you possibly can. Hello Alice is a great website that kind of they kind of round up a whole bunch of grant opportunities. They are they send out, you know, get on their newsletter. They send out a newsletter often with new grant opportunities. A ton of grants specific to women-owned businesses, color specifically, minority-owned businesses, and then also like sector. So there, you know, if you're in like the medical space, or if you're doing, you know, a particular type of product, you know, there might be a grant out there. Otherwise, Chamber of Commerce, Chamber very helpful for like, especially if you're in the U.S. So there's tons of opportunities. I think, you know, obviously going out to get, like, let's say angel investment, or going out to actually like raise funding, that's something that's different in a totally different, you know, a totally different ballgame if you're looking to really scale your business, and something that, you know, you may be ready for at some point. But you can, even at the beginning, before launch, or, you know, as you're getting started, or as you're trying to gain market share, there's so many grant opportunities for people to go after.
Yeah, there are. I didn't even hear. Did you mention Women's Net? Because I didn't. Did you mention Women's Net?
I didn't actually. Sorry. Thank you for bringing. Women's Net is another grants organization focused on women-owned businesses. I was one of their business grants last year, May 2021. It's for sure, get to our women.
Yeah.
And they are a great resource. They have a Facebook group also. I would definitely recommend joining it. They share other grants opportunities there as well. And it's a great network of women in business, and there's some gems of you know, information going around. So yeah, definitely use the resources, because, you know, it's investing in, building a business. It's an investment. I think you keep going, you keep, you know, figuring out what you're, so you kind of hit your stride. But the first, any business, you know, are typically challenging financially, until you really start to see that, like, you know, you see your baseline kind of be something more significant.
Yeah, I agree. I have to say, I've been a member of Women's Net for 2 years now. And I love the fact that the awards that they give aren't for, they're not always for very established companies. They're very often for very young companies, and that's what we need. You know, when you're starting out, that's definitely the roughest, I think, time when you're first starting out, you know. But the fact that within the community you also have people who might have, you know, be in the same field and have, you know, they might be just a great connection for you. It's just a great environment. I was so impressed when I saw that you had won the grant for that, because I was like, I mean, I apply for it every month, but like we just love the organization though. It's just a fantastic organization, you know?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, grants, especially when you're pre-launch, grants can be a little hard to land because you don't have sales. And sometimes sometimes grants have a requirement of how long you've been in business or, something like that. But I feel like there's honestly something out there for everyone. It's just a matter of and finding the right one for you. Obviously, crowdfunding is another option too. Crowdfunding is a great, you can kind of use it as marketing and as financing. Crowdfunding has a way in front of you guys.
Yeah. Crowdfunding is definitely another fantastic resource, especially if people know what you're doing, love your product, they love your aesthetic. Like it's a great option to consider as crowdfunding. Because there's even people that you don't know out there who just will identify with your product that you're making and really get it and invest. So yeah, we just want to put that out there as well. Well, I don't want to keep it too much longer, Jessica. We try to keep it to like a half an hour just so that we don't have people fall off.
I'll give a quick plug to a couple of clients. They are recognize me.
Right.
Balance Bra is coming. They're launching new style. It's all sustainable, recycled fiber fabrics in Intimate Apparel with a customization option for your bra. So if women need, a different size cup left and right, you can go on and choose whatever you want. They're launching underwear, bra styles later this month.
Wow.
So check them out. And also Mother Figure. We've been innovating, postpartum and pumping bras and things like that. This is in my opinion, the most beautiful nursing pumping bra ever to exist. It just launched as well. So if you want to see some of the work that we do, these are two of our clients that we market right now. And I think they're doing the same thing. We're really proud of the product that we've made with them, and our client partnerships are amazing.
Yeah.
I just love working with everyone that we work with. We also think about 85 to 90% of our women-owned brands as well. So we love uplifting women-owned brands. We love
that.
All of our clients, but it's definitely near and dear to my heart when we have women-owned, minority-owned brands that we can kind of bring to market, grow.
Yeah, totally agree.
And build themselves.
Awesome.
Yes.
I appreciate talking to you guys. It's been great, and thank you everybody for joining. I hope that you guys got some sort of good info on the call. You can always reach out to me if you need any other info.
Yeah, Jessica, please, you guys reach out to Jessica, Sweet Creative Studio. She's listed on FashionIndex.com. You can find her and email her directly. I mean, there's no, it's the easiest platform to use. You just literally go to the profile and email them directly. And we just love what Jessica is doing, and we really want to encourage you to connect with Sweet Creative Studio because the value that they will bring to you is tremendous. And the time and the money that they will save you, it will help get your brand off the ground right away. So don't hesitate and reach out, just connect with her and find out how you can work together. Okay, guys, thank you
so much. It was great speaking to you, and thanks everybody for joining.
Yes, have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much. Hey, So Chill. Have a good day, you guys. Bye-bye.